What's good, fight fans? This is Ashley's Corner. And I come to talk to you about the fights last night on Showtime. All three fights. I'm going to run through them, let you know what I thought about them. First up, we had Frank Martin versus Jackson Martinez. Jackson Martinez was a late replacement. I believe he had 9 days to prepare for this fight. But on the other hand, Frank Martin had 9 days to prepare for it also, because he was getting prepared for Nunes, the guy that Gervonta Davis fought and knocked out in the second round. I believe, I don't really know why he backed out of the fight. Maybe he had an injury. Matter of fact, I think it was visa problems. He had visa problems and he couldn't make it here. It would have been his second fight in the States. But Jackson Martinez stepped in to fight Frank Martin, and Jackson Martinez did a great job, better than what I believe everybody else thought that he was going to do. And he had a new trainer. I think he's been with that trainer. They said he's been with that trainer for like a week or two, and he did a very good job, I must admit. Even after his last two fights was losses. His last fight, he was coming off of a very bad knockout loss versus Richard Comey, and before that, he won against Rolly, but they gave the title to Rolly. So he was fighting Frank Martin last night. The fight was very competitive, very, very competitive. Jackson was landing the right hand on Frank Martin. He had to get the reach down. Jackson Martinez is 5'11". He has a very long reach, and I haven't seen Frank Martin fight somebody with those types of advantages on him, and how much advantage of that height and reach that he had. And he persevered, and that's the good thing about boxing and about certain fights when it comes to boxing. When they come to a little adversity and they overcome it. He dropped Jackson Martinez twice in this fight, and he turned it around. It was a 10-round fight, but he stopped him in the 10th round. So good job to Frank Martin. And his promoter, Earl Spence Jr., was asked after in the post press conference about who he wanted him to fight next, and he said he wanted him to fight Rolly. I can very much understand that, since he said that it's nobody that Rolly beat, since the only person he fought, Tank, and Tank beat him, knocked him out, that he really didn't fight nobody. So that would be a good pick, since in my opinion, if they didn't give the title to Rolly when Jackson Martinez fought him and Jackson Martinez got it, I believe Tank would have fought Jackson Martinez instead of Rolly. So it makes sense to bring him up in that if he does fight, Frank Martin does fight Rolly and beat Rolly, that will put him very high in the WBA rankings. So it makes a lot of sense. But 135 is heating up. There's a lot of talent at 135, and we will see what's coming up next. But that was a great fight. Next we have Brandon Figueroa versus Castro, and I have to say that I'm kind of bummed that I didn't make videos for these fights, because I knew this fight card was going to be good. I did not watch the other fight card with Pulev and Derek Chisora. I heard Chisora won that fight, good for him, in a decision. But this card I knew was going to be fire. I knew it was going to be very interesting, and it was. But this fight right here, Brandon Figueroa is he's an inside fighter. He likes fighting on the inside, fighting on the clinch, and it's very entertaining to watch. So, and I knew Castro wasn't really a punk when it came to this. When it came to fighting Figueroa, I knew he was going to stand in the fighter and fight with him, and that's exactly what he did. The first round was pretty much Figueroa boxing from the outside, and he did okay. But then it heated up pretty quickly, pretty quickly. The third round, Figueroa dropped Castro, as you can see on the screen, and the count begun. I don't really remember what round the fight stopped at. Maybe it was the sixth round. That's what it was. Fight got stopped in the sixth. Brandon Figueroa beat Castro by a TKO stoppage. And it was just because Castro just stayed on the ropes too long. He was on the ropes when he got dropped, and after that he was on the ropes again. And Figueroa bloodied his nose. And at the end of the fight, Actually, Castro had Figueroa on the ropes and was banging them upstairs, downstairs, and Figueroa switched it and just turned the tables and turned him to the ropes and stopped the fight. So good job with Figueroa. And Figueroa is now supposed to be the mandatory to fight the winner of Ray Vargas versus Mark Masayo. Now I had Frank winning the fight. I knew Figueroa. I had him winning the fight, and I said Ray Vargas was going to beat Mark, and that's exactly what happened. So it's starting to shape up that the move up from 122 to 126 pounds was a great idea for Brandon Figueroa, because he has a chance, a real good chance to beat Ray Vargas, in my opinion. Now for the Mark Masayo versus Ray Vargas fight. Just by watching styles and the fact that Ray Vargas is taller, has a good reach, and I seen that press conference, and Mark just looked like he was shocked that Ray didn't respect him. Like, of course not. You know what I mean? I knew Ray Vargas was going to win this fight. I knew it was going to happen. Mark Masayo seems like he has a problem with boxers, and he had a problem with the reach. But at the same time, I believe this fight went the distance, and I believe Ray Vargas won by split decision. But Mark Masayo he hit Ray Vargas flush a bunch of times. He hit him with the left, he hit him with the right, and Ray Vargas was still there looking at him. After the fight, Ray Vargas said, yeah, his punch power is not all that. He wasn't hard to figure out. He basically shitted on him a little bit. But it's all good, yo. That's boxing. If you know how to keep the distance and work off the jab and stuff, that's why Ray Vargas had so much success. But now you have Ray Vargas versus Figueroa that's possibly going to take place next. And I believe that's going to be an inside fight as well, unless Ray Vargas really knows how to use his feet and stay off of those ropes. That is the only way that I see he's going to beat Brandon Figueroa. Because if you let Figueroa be on the inside and fight his fight, I don't think Ray Vargas is going to be able to win that fight. But all in all, those are my thoughts and results for the Showtime card and those 3 fights. It was a good night. It was a good night last night. But always like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.